And now, Out of the Park presents crazy stories from around the world that are crazy. Here's Matt and Barry.
Well, Matt, over the last couple of weeks, we've heard about stories of multiple deaths and multiple corpses from you.
Yes.
Please tell me you have something a little more lighthearted for our show this week.
Nope.
Okie doke.
Once again, I scoured not. This was scoured for me and sent to me. Now, for the nth week in a row, this does not have to do with poop or farts.
Thank goodness for that.
But it is back into the United States of America.
That's okay.
All right. I believe
It's hard. You can only avoid America so much before one of these crazy stories just hits you right in the face.
there are like 330 odd million people living in the U.S., right? So, I mean,
By the way, as you're doing this, are you not in the back of your mind thinking, uh-oh, what is Brian Leach going to do with our video of what we're saying, and what is he going to create this week?
It's ridiculous. On the previous one, Go Slow, where it has the country breakdown, I was like, this is just going right down a rabbit hole.
Speaking of,
All right.
what is your crazy story for today?
This happens in Detroit. Remember how a while back we're talking about Royce da 5'9", that Detroit rapper, and how craziness happens in Detroit? Okay, check this out. Title, headline, police. Man shoots himself in the penis while robbing a hot dog stand.
Wow.
Okay, so some guy...
Wow, especially when you
Yeah.
hear what mine is.
Is it about man selling?
Just go ahead.
Okay. So some guy, he was arrested because he was found slumped over on the steps of a home across the street from a West Pullman restaurant that he tried to rob at gunpoint at around 6 a.m. on Halloween. Okay. He was not able to run further because of the pain of a self-inflicted gunshot wound suffered when he tried to adjust his .38 caliber pistol in the waistband as he ran off after robbing a Maxwell Street Express hot dog stand. So the person in question pulled the gun out and demanded cash from two employees, pressing the gun to the head of a 39-year-old worker. And then the victim, who had been passing a bucket filled with grease over the counter, called for his coworker to hand over the cash.
Hang on, whoa. Bucket of grease?
Yes, this was a hot dog stand. I'm not quite sure why the bucket of grease. The point is,
Yes, get to the point.
this guy
Yeah.
shot himself in his Johnson while trying to steal a wiener.
So he
Right?
shot himself in the wiener while trying to steal a wiener.
Yes. Only in Detroit, my man. Only in Detroit.
Well, apparently this is something that only happens in China, and it happens quite often in China. And we go from a wiener to something shaped like one.
Okay.
And so a guy arrived at a hospital in China. He's in his 40s. He was drunk, and he needed to have an operation. You know why he had to have an operation?
Because he took his brother-in-law's wedding ring and put it around. No.
There was a live eel that was up his rear.
Live?
Yeah. Well, apparently it's a culinary delicacy in China.
Wait a minute. Bum eels?
No, eels. But it was removed after it was found nestling alongside his intestines. But this is not the first time that something like this has happened in China.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah?
Bro, you take the cake for offsidedness this week. This is
By
just
the way,
right around
by the
the
way,
bend.
this story
Uh-huh.
was sent to me
I know.
for the first time, and you know who you were, and I'm not going to
So wait a minute. The first time a story is sent to you, it's about an eel up someone's bum.
Right. And again, not the first time. Back in April, again in China, the same species of eel was removed from his intestines after he shoved one of them up his anus to cure constipation. Oh, and there's more. Another man found himself in a hospital after his friends shoved the eel up his rump as a prank.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and there's more. A few years ago in Auckland.
What is happening in the world? I
Doctors
quit.
had to remove an eel the size of what they recall, quote, a decent sprig of asparagus, which was also up his bum. Okay, kids, it's lesson time once again here on Out of the Park Extra.
Right.
And the lesson is, you remember when you're told about sticking your finger in your nose or putting things, like bigger than a finger into your ear, no cue. Live eels are best to not be put in the rumple area.
Okay. So we talked to Doug Gilmore about pranks.
Yes.
Okay. So
Can you just imagine?
Okay. So either the guys from China that put the eel up their friend's bum, it's either the most inspiring prank I have ever heard of or the most offside prank I've ever heard of. Like, so what, is your friend sleeping? You guys are having like a sleepover, you're watching a game.
Roll them
and you just
over.
roll 'em over. Yeah,
and
man, check
then
this
you,
out.
do you have to shove it in, or do you just entice the eel? Maybe put a piece of cheese in there.
From what I've heard is medically is the anus is a muscle where it's really only designed to have things come out and to
It's
put,
an exit.
and to put things in. That takes some effort. So I don't think the cheese would have enticed the eel. I think this is with force.
I'm going to go now and throw up a little bit. And